I power walk down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them.
Yo. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. 'Tis a show that keeps our minds up to date, sharp, when it comes to pop culture. Our goal is to be the #1 retro pop culture channel in existence, folks. All the more reason why you need to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Like I said, we take a look at what's happening in the news, pop culture-wise, see what's good, bad, ugly, sometimes some spiritual elements I try to throw in there based on scripture whenever I can. It's fun, it's exciting, and of course, it is hosted by me, your super elite host, Power Keg Greg. I'm Ginger, I'm awesome, and for some reason, my YouTube membership thing changed. That's weird. I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, we got some articles here, and once we're done with the show, we'll just be probably doing gaming up until I'll be heading back home beginning of July. So we'll be doing gaming when I'm back. I should be able to do gaming when we're back then, but not a Power Up Podcast show. So it'll be on a little bit of a break, but we should still be live. Right now, speaking of live, we are live on the Big Five: YouTube, Rumble, X, Kick, and Switch. Or Switch. We'll be talking about this Switch. Twitch. We are on there. So make sure to follow me all over there. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. So some articles that we have pulled up here that caught my interest. I think I have a good chunk. The biggest one being news about the Switch 2 and apparently the display not being as fast in terms of the first. And then apparently, I mean, it's no surprise, but YouTube algorithm apparently is purposely being set up to hurt and content creators and whatnot. And that's been confirmed by apparently Clownfish TV. So we'll read about that. And we've got other stuff. So without further ado, why don't we go hop in? Well, bam. Why is that not showing? I had everything set up perfectly. We bring nothing but perfection and professionalism on this show, by the way. So kindly just ignore that. There you go. It's like nothing ever. It's like it never happened. But yeah, that's annoying. I had everything set up because I felt like I was going to be late today. So I tried to set up everything as early as possible. But alas, OBS being OBS. So I found this interesting because I liked the Batman Arkham series. This comes from Fandom Wire, and they apparently have an article here talking about the solution to Batman Arkham Knight's unsatisfying combat was hidden in the game files all this time. Now, I don't remember the combat being annoying in Arkham Knight. So I'm not sure what this is talking about, but let's take a gander. Majorly missed out on the Bat Swarm ability, something that is now back thanks to this one content creator. For a game that has always been praised for being one of the best superhero titles, Arkham Knight has always found itself in controversy surrounding its combat. I don't remember seeing anybody talking about the combat, but then again, I wasn't exactly looking for that sort of stuff, so let's see what this has to offer. While for some it was perfect, I thought it was, for many others it was an eyesore, as it simply lacked the raw impact fans experienced in the earlier games. One of the most missed battle mechanics from the previous game was the Bat Swarm move, something that was unfortunately removed from Arkham Knight. That was until now when a modder found out that the move existed in the game files all this while, and has added it back into the game, making the combat more bearable than before. Hey, what's up, Mr. Matthews? Saw you over on Phoenix. Playing Anticipation and Pictionary over there. Over my boy Phoenix over on Rumble. Show him some love. Also show Mr. Matthews here some love as well. He's got an awesome channel in terms of like styles, visuals, talking Game Boy, just a good old-fashioned retro game channel. I love it. And why doesn't your picture show up? Frickin' Rumble Studios. I could have sworn they had the pictures in the past for Rumble Studios, and now it's like not there anymore. Lacking on that. But anyway. So, the Bat Swarm, the missing piece of Batman Arkham Knight's combat. So, fans majorly missed the Bat Swarm move, a mechanic that allows players to summon a large group of bats that would help stun nearby players. I remember that move, but I don't remember it obviously being in Arkham Knight, and I honestly didn't really miss it. Thank you, Greg. You are welcome, sir. Get those subscriber counts up. While looking cool at the same time. Originally introduced in Arkham Origins, well, I thought some people thought Arkham Origins wasn't exactly like the big stuff compared to, Asylum and City. The move came in handy whenever there happened to be a huge pool of enemies around the player, which can then be stunned by the Bat Swarm. The best part about it was how it was not just a flashy move. Instead, it actually had a lot of utility, and many fans have missed it over the years, including this content creator on YouTube by the name GP Unity. They have been missing it so much that they decided to take matters into their own hands and added it back into the game. Well, obviously, you would probably have to use like a downloaded version of Arkham Knight, so like a PC, Steam or whatever. I don't know if it's on GOG. So the creator, while explaining how he has been working on an overhaul mod, has been attempting to bring back the Bat Swarm ability for a while now. He further reveals in the video, I'm assuming up here, how while diving into the game files, he found the mechanic lying there, left unused. This simply means how Batman Arkham Knight was going to have the Bat Swarm ability originally, but was later scratched by the developers, possibly in favor for other movesets like the multi-batarang takedown. How to unlock it in Arkham Knight. So the aforementioned creator has successfully managed to add Bat Swarm back into Arkham Knight, making the combat a bit more exciting than before. He also plans to do a few tweaks, including adding more bats to the swarm than usual. Unfortunately, the mod to unlock the Bat Swarm in the game has not yet been released by the creator, who has revealed that they don't have a clear release date in mind, and it would possibly take more than 2 months before it's ready to be launched and used by the players. This ultimate discovery tells us all we need to know about how Arkham Knight's true potential may have been hidden in plain sight all along. With modifications like these and a bit of an overhaul, it could arguably become the best superhero title out there, a space Xbox might struggle to control soon. So I thought that was interesting. It kind of plays into like the modding community, and Arkham Knight was like a good series I enjoyed. So it's interesting on how they had it in there, but they just didn't use the code. So very interesting. I never really thought about checking out like getting the Arkham series for like PC or something and then seeing what the modding community has out there. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of like Max Payne 3 and a lot of people doing mods for Max Payne 3, like making it like extra bloody and all that stuff. So this came from Fandom Wire, a new place with news and sources that I found interesting. So very cool. So if you're interested, keep an eye out and see if this mod comes out. So next on the list, we've got Fandom Pulse. And this stems from Pat Oswalt, someone who I don't even understand how he was able to weasel himself into like for example, like Ghostbusters and all this garbage. I think because his wife, his well, his ex-wife, but ex because she's deceased. Had something to do with it. I just remember him being a huge douche, insulting James Rolfe when he's like, "Yeah, I'm not reviewing Fat Busters, the 2016 Ghostbusters," and then he got all butthurt about it and had a comment, and then everyone ripped on his wife who recently passed away, like saying, like, "Is she gonna make a cameo in the movie or something?" It was harsh, but what do you expect when you're an ass? But yeah, I don't know how he manages to get in all of this stuff because I don't even like what does he contribute besides like some voice acting and stuff. So Patton Oswalt claims Andor is the most relevant show on TV. Well, why is it relevant, Patton? Because there's a fascist takeover happening in the United States. Oh boy. Mr. Matthews said, I tolerated him in Ratatouille. I never saw that. I don't know. I kind of fell out of the whole like animated movie sort of things and like Pixar and all that stuff. I forget who made Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Man, 2007. Damn. Well, I mean, not come on, search engine, not the food, the actual movie. It is Pixar. Well, from Walt Disney Pictures. Okay. Yeah, that was Pixar. Gotcha. So, Eternals and MODOK actor Patton Oswalt made the absurd claim that Lucasfilms recently released Andor show is the most relevant show on TV because the United States is somehow undergoing a fascist takeover. Well, first of all, it's not, and it's so tiring. So like hear this lie constantly being spewed out over and over and over. Anyway, during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which was being guest hosted by Andor actor Diego Luna, Oswalt brought up the Star Wars show saying, "Look, I love Star Wars, but Andor's next lever, yeah, pulled a lever to get him out of there, level, when asked to provide, I also need to get a Norm Macdonald lever. When asked to provide how much of a next level it is, he said, it's like above the heights that Star Wars has already hit. And then it goes beyond it in that you're watching Andor and going, I can't believe I'm watching a Star Wars show, and this is the most relevant thing to what's going on in this country in terms of like the weird kind of fascist takeover that's happening. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh. Shut up. No one thinks that. No one thinks that. And the fact that that's your default thing when it's like watching Star Wars and it goes to show that these people cannot live outside like in reality, and that even though and like they have to bring that, let me rephrase that. These people can't step outside and just be absorbed in a world to where like you don't have to worry about that stuff, that they have to bring whatever warped idea they have about how they see reality. It has to be put into whatever it is they're watching and stuff. Because if they didn't do that, then it wouldn't be about them. It always stems back to them. Like the reason he says this is so that people like the SEALs will clap and agree with him. He continued, in fact, here's the one bad thing about Andor. When you watch it, which is brilliantly acted, all the characters are nuanced. There's monsters and robots and stormtroopers. And then when you watch the news is like a shit version of Andor. It's like they did Andor, but without the special effects with terrible actors. And dude, oh my gosh. This just sounds like he's pulling shit out of his ass. Like what is he talking about? I mean, are you talking about like CNN and all those guys? Yeah, they suck. They suck ass. Then yeah, they are indeed terrible actors. You know, Fox can also be terrible actors as well. And you're just like, why don't they just throw Andor? It's insane. It's so frustrating to watch that. That is not Star Wars, like, that is not Andor's responsibility to make you not think about that. That is your responsibility. Oh my gosh. Later in the interview, He also commented on a stand-up special he's doing with Audible, saying, "The way the news is every day, we're just living in this insane." What? It's like we're just stuck in a dryer being tumbled constantly all day. So I got to keep updating whatever it is I'm talking about, or you look insane if you don't acknowledge it. Uh, sure, I guess. Luna, who appeared to be reading off a teleprompter, then added, I believe it's dark times to do comedy. It's very difficult to achieve something better than what the president of this country does on his phone. Oh, fuck off. Oswald continued, well, it's hard to find something ridiculous. One thing I was realizing when I was watching footage of these ISE agents that are out there, and again, I hate what they're doing, but in a weird way, I feel bad for the ICE agents because it's so clear that this was their fantasy to dress up like Judge Dredd and go out and make justice. But the thing is, they're shaped like me. They don't look like these hot... Dude! What a fag. What a fag. I cannot... Dude. Piss off. Look, he has to bring it back to him. They're not shaped like me. Or, like, they're shaped like me. They don't look like this. Dude, that is narcissism, like, at the max. Like, he is so ass mad at what they're doing. Is that he has to downplay it to like, oh my gosh, they think they're like from Judge Dredd when they just look like me. They look like Pillsbury stormtroopers, like the pudge is kind of sticking out of their body armor. Let's see, ICE agents. Let's take a gander. I don't know. Here's a picture of some ICE agents. I'm telling you right now, it's insane on how they look the same. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my god. I feel like this looks fake as shit. This looks very stage. I love that guy. But yeah, you see the pudge? Or maybe it's because of all the crap that they're like having to put on. Now, I won't lie, there's definitely like fat cops out there and stuff, but oh my gosh, the delusion this guy had. They look they look just like me. It's like, no, dude. No, they're actually like in shape. Maybe like they may have some tire, around the belly and stuff like that, but they also have the upper body strength to make up for it. What's up? I didn't know it was Jay. But no fucking, like, no. Oh my gosh. The delusion. Oh my gosh. Next, Oswald shared a message to ICE agents where he literally instructed them to do the red letter media meme of not ask questions and consume next products. He said, hey guys, it's Pat and Oswald from Ratatouille. I know that you love characters like Judge Dredd and Mad Max, cool guys in body armor who out there bringing justice to the lawless world. I like them too. I'm a big comic book nerd. Oh, you're probably a big progressive comic book nerd. But I realize that now you're out there and your knees are hurting, your hips are screaming, and your back is aching, and you're thinking, why didn't I just stay home and play Red Dead Redemption? Dude, wow. Red Dead Redemption and eat sun chips instead of coming out here in the heat where everyone's booing me. Yeah, I don't really know, like, who's booing them. See, I don't hang around a bunch of, like, echo chamber assholes. And I'm realizing I'm the biggest douchebag on the planet. Dude, 100% projection from this guy. Unbelievable. Well, there's still hope. There is, he continued. You still have a chance to do what I did and serve humanity by staying home and playing video games and purchasing all of America's great snacks, helping this wonderful comedy. So please, for the sake of our country, for the strength of America, sit and snack. Thank you. What do you make of Oswald's comment? Well, I already said it ago. I mean, Pigeon can sum it up pretty well.
Go yourself. This guy must be a fag.
There, that's what I think. Gosh. Be fat is pretty much what he's saying. Wait, what? I always like checking out what the comments say. This says the guy who, his wife in a satanic ritual for fame, and then began, quote, joking about pedophilia on Twitter right after. Dang. I didn't know, like, where did this guy get this? I might have to look that up. That's crazy. I mean, like, super X'd out about it, but, like, I mean, but I don't hold Hollywood against it because they are insane with that sort of stuff. Well, Patton Oswalt being Patton Oswalt. There you go. Came from Fandom Pulse here. Microsoft. This comes from Niche for Gamer. They have an article here talking about Microsoft adding Steam games to the Xbox PC app on Windows. So in a surprising new announcement, Microsoft has revealed that they've added the ability to include Steam games in your Xbox library. So the new combined My Library on the Xbox app is now available the Xbox Insiders on Windows. Letting you connect and list your Steam and Battle.net games all on the same app, making it single launcher for those PC games. So as with any new features out first for Xbox Insiders, the rest of the users on the Xbox ecosystem will have to wait until later this year for the full integration of their consolidated library. The new combined library will also be on new devices like the ROG Xbox Ally handheld. Okay, I'm like on the Xbox app, like, can you play it with your X? I'm confused. Like, is this just for PC? When a player installs a game from a supported PC storefront, it will automatically appear in My Library within the Xbox PC app, as well as the most recent list of titles in the sidebar, making it easier than ever to jump back into your games, said Anisha Ozas, Xbox platform product manager. Here's the thing, though. Like, it'd be pretty insane if you can install this Xbox PC app on your Xbox and play it that way. But this just says it's an Xbox app for Windows PC. So you're already on the PC. So just play it from the thing, like from the storefront that you bought it from. I mean, I get it. It's all about consolidating everything together, but it's not that, to me, that it's not that big of a deal in terms of like finding where all your shit is, you know? Because let's be real, like, well, I guess they said battle.net. Like, I'm not seeing it listing like Valve or anything like that, or I don't know. I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense where it's like you're already on your PC. Like, just open up where the game that you want to play is located and just play it that way, as opposed to like, I'm going to consolidate everything and just use the Xbox PC app. I get it, but yet I just think it's funny. Mostly because for me, in the end, you know, I want to get outside of this stupid DRM bullshit, and you know, I'm trying to slowly migrate to GOG, but alas, GOG does not have some specific games I wish they did, like Stellar Blade, for example, and all that stuff. So Microsoft teases this is just the beginning of their efforts to add more competitor storefronts to the Xbox platform, with support for additional PC storefronts coming over time. As with any of these options, you can also toggle off the aggregated game library as well. If you want to add your Steam library to the Xbox app right now, you can download the Xbox Insider Hub on PC. Enjoy the PC gaming preview ring. No, thank you. I will not do that currently. But anybody out there, if you like Microsoft, go ahead. But there you go. There's some interesting news for you. Well, I guess we have another niche gamer article here. I just saw this because I just think about the past. Because, of course, this is a retro channel. We like nostalgia. We like thinking about nostalgia. I don't know about you guys, but I remember Alien Ant Farm from the past. And yes, of course, chances are if you think of Alien Ant Farm, aside from being an Alien Ant Farm fan, which I'm not really, but you'll think about their cover of Smooth Criminal. But apparently they made a comment on how they're bummed that they say it's a bummer getting cut out from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 soundtrack. So fans were concerned that the Pro Skater 3+4 was cutting Bam Margera from its roster, only to learn he is returning after all. Instead, its soundtrack has cut songs, and one iconic band said the removal from the remaster is disappointing. Well, there's a solution to that. Just play the original. And if you need to emulate it, go ahead and emulate it. And find mods to make it look nice and pretty, upscaled, and all that stuff. And then you'll have the best of both worlds. Because let's be real, is it is it a remaster or is it's a remake, building it from the ground up? Sounds like it's just a remaster. Iconic rock band Alien Ant Farm is one of the artists cut from the remaster's extensive soundtrack, meaning their popular song Wish won't be returning in the remaster of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. See, I didn't know that another song besides Smooth Criminal. But anyway, so speaking in a new interview, the band said they're confused and disappointed in the decision to cut their song. Is it a bummer that we weren't invited, or did they not include us? Absolutely, said the guitarist Terry Corso in the interview, which there's a link right there. Iconic rock band, says Mr. Matthews. Yeah, I mean, I had a friend who had Alien Ant Farm, and I tried listening to their stuff, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it. But who knows? Maybe it's one of those times where we need to go back in the day and then realize of all the bands that you missed out on. We understand that they're trying to bring some new stuff on these releases. And if you've got to make cuts, you've got to make cuts. I don't know why it had to be us. I feel like our song was really good on there and it did really well, Corso said. Alien Ant Farm singer Dryden Mitchell added, I kind of get it that skating feels a little more like the punk side and we're not a punk band, but I think that's what's makes a cool soundtrack is being different. You know, that's an interesting comment. I can understand that from the musician's perspective, but I personally never, and this is me because I'm weird. I like repetition. I'm autistic. So I like that sort of stuff. So when I hear something I like, I don't mind hearing it over and over and over in the same style. But I never liked bands who super drastically changed their sound. Like, to me, once you find a sound like that's unique and you just go with it until you're done with it. You know, prime example I can think of is Incubus. Incubus had so many different types of sound that certain songs that I liked back in the day, like I do not like any of the like current stuff or whatever. Like, that's the band I think of the most that just constantly changed for me. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But like a band that I like that sounds the same out through all this time, for example, like Breaking Benjamin. Like, they have that sound that you know it's Breaking Benjamin, and they stick with it because they know that it works. I've always felt like that's what bands should do, but I also understand a musician and wanting to do other things, you know. I understand. But that's just me. Did they have more than 2 songs on the radio? I know, right? I can only think of Smooth Criminal, which I've actually heard nowadays on some down here in Texas on some of the different radio stations. So the remastered soundtrack list has been revealed in waves, confirming, returning, and new additions, all of which are being hand selected by Tony Hawk himself. The original track list reveal Fans immediately questioned what tracks would return and which would be cut, and who was making the choice on its tracks. Tony confirmed in the second track list revealed that he was curating the soundtrack personally. It was my choice to pick some different songs by the same artist featuring in this game's OST, hoping that discovery is half the fun and a big reason that these soundtracks resonate in the first place. So listen and enjoy the ride. More to come, both old and new. I don't know. You could make the counter argument of going, well, I really liked how the soundtrack was back in the day, and I don't want anything to change. And I'm curious of what new stuff is getting added. Like, if it's a bunch of, like, your stupid, like, the way hip-hop's going now and rap and all that garbage, like, bullshit. Bullshit. These are ones that you personally liked. I call bullshit on that. But it's set to launch. It's coming up July 11th. PC, Steam, and Microsoft Store, Xbox One, Series XS, Switch, Switch 2, PS4, and PS5. So there you go. Sorry, Alien Ant Farm fans out there. It will not be in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Oh boy. So kind of a made headline because I have some other ones that kind of tie in together from different articles. But we talked about Pedro Pascal Tuesday bashing J.K. Rowling's, and doesn't sound good when someone like Robert Downey Jr. claims Pedro Pascal being a star, quote, reaffirms my faith in our industry as public Pedro PR push continues. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, don't turn into a beta. Pedro, if anything, reaffirms my faith in that the industry is failing. Like, how can you say something like that? But let's hear his reasoning. So Pedro Pascal is now officially the face Marvel Studios is betting on, and Disney's PR machine led by Robert Downey Jr. is pulling out all the stops to make sure audience fall in line. So again, it always seems to be Vanity Fair cover story. The Fantastic Four, which a lot of people already hate in the Fantastic Four, looks terrible, and Avengers Doomsday actor was showed with praise by Robert Downey Jr., who stars opposite Pascal as Dr. Dooms in Marvel's next phase defining film. Downey, long considered the heart of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has increasingly become a kind of emergency spokesperson for the studio's more controversial projects. I'm sorry out there, Marvel, but Downey Jr. is not going to save Marvel. You guys screwed it up. You guys done goofed, and you fucked it up. RDJ needs to not ruin it. I know. Pascal's slow trajectory to becoming a household name, who is on a wildly hot streak, kind of reaffirms my faith in the industry, he told Vanity Fair. Well, let's honestly be real here. How can you say that this is a hot streak when once Gina Carano got fired, The Mandalorian went downhill. Last of Us, once part 2 was out, went downhill. And sounds like this Fantastic Four is going to go downhill. So this is hilarious in how he thinks this is like a hot streak. Are you referring to the hot streak of fuck it, keep putting them in there because we need something? Then sure, by all means. What's up, the Nintendo DS collector? How you doing, guy? I miss real action stars in the movies. The 80s character would laugh at everything. Exactly, because they could handle it. Because they weren't a Pedro Pascal. They weren't a feminist beta bitch. They could laugh at shit. And even Arnold's trying to go back to that way. But no one's ever going to forget that he said, fuck your freedoms. Because didn't he recently push back against Whoopi or something like that on The View or something? He shut something down. It's like, dude, now you're going back. Now you're backpedaling. You may have truly feel sorry, but internet's not going to forget. People aren't going to forget what you said during the whole vaccination. So the two are currently filming Avengers Doomsday at Pinewood Studios in the UK, aiming for December 18th of 2026. According to the profile, Downey has been hosting Homework Day at his home, helping the cast bond and prep for major scenes. Pascal refused to elaborate on what these gatherings actually entail, responding only with a coy, "Very good question." So his MCU debut comes next month for Fantastic Four First Steps, where he'll play Richard Reeds, which I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. I'll say that right now. I don't know much about a Fantastic Four, but this does not scream Richard Reeds to me. Couldn't explain why. Like, I believe he's supposed to be a scientist, super smart. Pedro Pascal does not ooze out intelligence. I'm sorry. So the backlash to his casting was immediate, with fans questioning his age, true, appearance, also true, and fit for the role, very true. He himself acknowledged the wave of criticism, citing complaints that he's too old, not right, and needs to shave. I think that's 100% true. And also, isn't Fantastic Four like pushing over to what's-her-face, Miss Invisible? Enter Marvel's damage control, and Downey is again leading the charge. This isn't the first time Junior has been tapped as Marvel's credibility booster. In the last weeks, Downey staged not one but two separate PR moments promoting the heavily criticized Ironheart Disney Plus series, which I heard is also fucking garbage. I heard the first 3 episodes, people are absolutely mocking it. Sounds like the girl, like 100% with all her genius and stuff, can't better Tony's technology. Instead, she has to resort to thievery or something like that. Sounds absolutely stupid. I have no interest in seeing it, and I will not see it until, I don't know, I'm with a group of people or something making fun of it or something, maybe. So with audience rejecting the show's writing, tone, and messaging, Downey appeared on Good Morning America, a Disney-owned show, in a painfully staged surprise appearance to praise star Dominic Thorne and express full-throated support for the project. Then Marvel staged a PR stunt with Downey, called Thorne on the phone to congratulate her on the premiere of the show. Oh, dear Lord. Are you kidding me? Dude. MCU is not doing good. Both movies were widely reviewed as were widely viewed as a calculated effort to resuscitate the show's image by attaching it to the most beloved figure in MCU's history. See, I'm even at the point where Robert Downey Jr., I don't think of Robert Downey Jr. as like the icon of the Marvel universe. Maybe Iron Man was the first thing to like really kick stuff off back in the day, but I never saw him as like the beloved figure in MCU history. So, as the article is suggesting, Downey's now trying to do the same for Pedro. But Pascal's public image isn't just controversial, it's baffling. From Comic Cons to social media, his behavior has repeatedly drawn scrutiny. For example, San Diego Comic-Con, an infamous clip showing him holding Vanessa Kirby's hand and rubbing her arm in what many viewed as an overly familiar gesture that at the time was explained away as Pascal being nervous in front of a large crowd and needing physical touch to support from his co-star. And I think some people even called that autism, or said he has like some sort of autism. Bullshit. I can tell you that with, the autism that I have, to an extent, that I've never once felt like I had to physically fucking touch someone to get support. Now, I've seen other people who have that problem, but he doesn't show like the images and stuff. A lot of times the nervousness, people just shut down and they'll sway back and forth. They don't want to do anything. That's the thing. So to me, like, needing to have to touch something doesn't make sense to me. That is a form of, like, obviously autism and stuff like that, but I called bullshit right away, and a lot of people did. So Kirby later tried to spin the moment as a comforting display of friendship and solidarity, painting herself as the one who needed the support. Not true. But the optics didn't sit well with a portion of the fandom, especially as other criticism mounted. So Dakota Johnson also shared an eyebrow-raising anecdote during a recent press tour, stating that Pascal encouraged her to start an adult subscription site and wiggle a toe for money. He also recently revealed that on the set he regularly steals and wears her clothes. The comments were delivered with a laugh, but many found it deeply unsettling. Because it is. And on top of that, his aggressive political rhetoric has created more of a distance between him and segments of the Marvel fan base. Most notably, again, we kind of read about this earlier, he lashed out about J.K. Rowling, calling her a heinous loser because he's ass mad about the gender issue. And then did it again when she was cheerful for the rulings of it. So why is Marvel pushing him so hard? Because they have no choice. With Phase 5 and 6 in crisis after several flops, Disney needs to manufacture a new center figure for its next generation lineup. And fast. So you got your Fantastic Four. Avengers are supposed to anchor the future of the franchise, and it doesn't look promising. While the fans are on board or not, Pascal has already been chosen. Now it's up to Marvel and their most trusted spokesperson, Downey Jr., to sell Pedro Pascal to the world. And what a beautiful picture to end off with, because this is what Marvel's promoting. But are we surprised? Because they try to promote this sort of gay crap all the time, you know, and you can tell what these people really are at the gay pride parades. Whether the strategy's success or backfires remains to be seen, but one thing's clear, the Pedro Pascal PR push is real, and it's only just beginning. The best actors are the ones who keep to themselves. Yes, Mr. Matthews, 100% agree. Because that shows restraint. Because that shows, kind of like Keanu Reeves, probably my number one favorite actor in terms of how he handles crap like this. Like, doesn't comment, does what he needs to do, goes out, love him. But yes, because, of course, this sort of stuff back in the day wasn't that extreme. It wasn't part of the final product. And these assholes have made it to where this needs to be part of the final product. At least back in the day, it was done behind the scenes, and you hashed that shit out behind the scenes. But, of course, this is Hollywood we're talking about. They used to be conservative and then got taken over really bad and has become a liberal, woke mind infested cesspool of disgustedness and probably occultism. So this article also ties into another one that Park Place has written. Hollywood director claims Pedro Pascal is what we want in masculinity. How did we get here? And then you just look at this picture and you go, that is not masculinity at all. That is quite the opposite. That is beta bitch. Like, you know, perfect form, cell, beta bitch, 100% max. Kurt Russell is another one. He doesn't think anyone should care what he or any other celebrities thinks about stuff. That's right. So, filmmaker Spike Jonze recently declared that Pedro Pascal is what we want in masculinity. Now, let me make sure this is the Spike Jonze I'm thinking of. Damn it, it is. Oh, brother. Why? Why does it have to be that guy? I kind of liked him, but nah. The statement isn't just a compliment from a director to an actor. It's a declaration of Hollywood's new agenda. The traditional male archetype that once defined the big screen, John Wayne, yes, Chuck Norris, absolutely, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, have been traded in for thigh-high boots, designer crop tops, and tear-streaked monologues about personal trauma. This is true. Spike Jonze is the Being John Malkovich guy. I know, that's why I was a little upset, because I actually like Being John Malkovich. I think I was thinking of Spike Lee. I always like reverse those two, but there's another Spike Jonze as well. There's like one where you actually spelled it Jones. And then there's Spike Jonze, how they spell it with Z-E. So Jones's praise comes at a time when Pascal's image has become inseparable from his fashion statement. His fashion statement sucks. Whether it's St. Laurent thigh-high boots on the red carpet or lipstick red Valentino suit at the Met Gala or a pantsless Prada spread in Vanity Fair, the message is clear. Masculinity isn't about strength in Hollywood. It's about style. No, it's about being gay as hell. Oh my gosh. It's about presentation over protection and flamboyancy over fortitude. This isn't a natural evolution. It's a deliberate manufactured shift designed to rewire cultural expectations. 100% on the nose right here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pedro Pascal is the delivery system. And again, we've got the famous picture. He's not portrayed as a strong man. He's sold as a fragile one. The media swoons over how he cries easily. I don't. How he laughs loudly. Like, purposely laughs loudly, because that just comes off as fake to me. And his insides are on his outsides. This is now considered aspirational. His masculinity is not something you can rely on, but something you're meant to comfort. I mean, yeah, he's the bitch of the marriage. He's the bitch of the same-sex marriage. In a viral clip, he throws his body around dancing to Devo's Whip It, grinning and flailing extravagant energy on stage at the SNL's 50th concert. Another viral moment where fans fawned over his emotional openness and playful femininity. He's seen at The Last of Us wrap-up party licking the stupid rainbow, I don't know, ass baton. He strips down to his underwear, and when fans obsessively calls him daddy, he responds on the camera by saying, "Yeah, I'm your cool, slutty I feel like this is the first time I've heard this, and it makes me hate him even more. This is Hollywood's redefinition of masculinity in a single sentence. Flamboyant is the opposite of masculinity, says Mr. Man. I know. This is what they do all the time. They rewrite everything. Definitions, history, the textbook of something that has been established since the dawn of time. Oh my gosh. His image is drenched in performative intimacy. I do not see him. Oh my gosh. Public cuddling with Oscar Isaac, hand holding with Vanessa Kirby, a Comic-Con emotionally charged interviews are all part of the script. The point isn't that men can be emotional. Dude, I get men can be emotional. Yes. Fucking read Fist of the North Star. Read Kenshiro. Like, there you go. Standing in the open, standing, looking up, rain hitting him, tears down, running down the cheeks. And then you go and punch a guy and he explodes into a million pieces. Can easily be done. We don't need this. Now, I'm one to where, yes, men can exhibit emotion, and men exhibit emotion in very different ways. A lot of men don't do this because at the end of the day, they're the one that needs to provide for everything. That's just how it is. They take the hard stuff. They take the hard. They take the pounding of life so that their family doesn't have to. And sometimes you just gotta, bottle it in. But you need to find a way to obviously let it out and stuff like that. This isn't it. I'm sorry, this isn't it. And if this needs to be it, it better be with your fucking wife. Oh my gosh. The Crow 94 gets you every time, says the Nintendo DS collector. The point isn't that men can be emotional. They can, and there's nothing wrong with it. The point here, however, is that this is now the only form of masculinity the industry allows is feminized. Yep. It's because they don't want men to be men anymore. It's because everybody needs to be this neutral, shell of themselves, which is absolutely disgusting. This grooming of, like women in Hollywood needs to be more masculine, so don't show your feminine features, all this, and then obviously the men being more feminized. So everybody's neutral, which doesn't make sense, because when you make everybody dull and boring, you're not special. And the whole point is that these people are trying to say, no, this is special. It's like, well, you're heading down a path to where if you want everyone to be a neutral, bland blob, then that's it. Then you're not special because everyone else is the same. If you aren't emotionally naked, politically charged, and willing to wear thigh highs, you're not welcome. And then, okay, we're getting into something to where we've kind of read about already. We've read about this, made comments about Gina Carano, or not that, he associated, with half the country with evil regimes while Gina Carano got fired. That's what I meant to say. So there you go. Again, comments about J.K. Rowling's. And that wasn't a lapse in judgment. It was a flex, a declaration that he's on the right side of Hollywood's culture war. And because of that, the rules don't apply to him. He can mock, insult, and condescend. And it's spun as charming. Same behavior that would destroy a traditional actor's career, again, Gina Carano, is praised when it's wrapped in the right politics. Conclusion, Pedro Pascal is manufactured masculinity. I wouldn't even say it's manufactured masculinity. It's manufactured femininity. He isn't redefining it. He's what the industry has chosen to replace with it. The day of the protector, the stoic, the strong male lead are being scrubbed from the scene. Yes, it is. And we need to bring it back. In their place, we get vulnerable as fashion, submissiveness as strength, and careful, curated male fragility wrapped in designer brands. Spike Jones says that is what we want in masculinity. No, Spike, that's what you want us to accept, and we don't. Yep. There you go. Absolutely insane. Ridiculous. All right. Back over to Fandom Pulse. So we've kind of, like the quartering, I believe, kind of commented on this, and then Clownfish TV dove in deeper, and apparently has confirmed that YouTube's algorithm manipulation is destroying independent creators across the platform. So let's see what this has in detail. So the YouTubers at Clownfish TV have added their voices to the growing chorus of creators exposing YouTube's systematic suppression of independent content, confirming that the platform's algorithm manipulation extends far beyond individual channels to represent a coordinated attack on creators who don't conform to corporate media standards. So host, I'm assuming that's pronounced Neon and Geeky Sparkles. Never thought I would say the words Geeky Sparkles, but anyway. Detailed how their own channel has been experiencing the same algorithmic throttling that the quartering exposed earlier this week, proving this isn't an isolated incident, but a deliberate campaign to marginalize independent voices. So we're going to try to make sure that you guys get notified of our content. Neon explained, acknowledging the platform's failure to deliver content to subscribers. It's not just us. A lot of content creators are noticing that people are not getting notified. They're not seeing their content anymore. And I'll talk about what I think is actually going on, but it doesn't even matter if you follow them. It doesn't matter. The host revealed that YouTube has fundamentally broken its core promise to users, that subscribing to channels would ensure access to their content. Doesn't matter if you rang the bell of notification. Doesn't matter if you've rang the bell for notifications. If you're subscriber, whatever, or if you're a known subscriber, whatever, or I've got people that are like, I've been subscribed to you for years, and in the last couple of months, we're not seeing your content anymore, Geeky Sparkle said. Wow, if that was a verbatim quote not exactly the best. But then again, who am I to say anything? I stutter like crap. This systematic suppression has compelled creators to devise workarounds in order to reach their own audiences. The reason for that is YouTube is not necessarily pushing your subscriptions to the homepage anymore. They're throwing content in front of you that they'd either like you to watch or they think that you are more inclined to click on, Neon explained. Mr. Matthews says, I've noticed some weird stuff going on YouTube lately. Yeah, like how it was so weird, like how there was always like in the lower left corner, like experiencing issues or something. I noticed that and I saw this and I wanted to dive in a little bit more about it. And yeah, can we just go back to like the early days of like YouTube 2006? Just do it. Fuck Google and fuck everybody. Fuck the fuck the DRMA. Let's just go back. The manipulation has become so severe that YouTube is promoting old, irrelevant content over fresh uploads from subscribed channels. I'm about to sneeze, so here it comes. Wait. There we go. So Neon says I'm getting recommended like really old shit, right? Like old news, old. I mean, I think I got video recommendations from somebody that okay. A little advice for Fandom Pulse. Dear Lord, edit it to where, if you have to take liberties to like cut out the stutters of stuff of quotes, please do that. Because I get what he's trying to say, but dear Lord, reading it is annoying as hell. Throw in those brackets with the ... dots to show that you're cutting out a portion of the quote, and we'll get it. Recommendations from somebody that's dead, like, what the hell is going on here? Neon observed. Mr. Matthews said over on YouTube says, YouTube will always push a video from a way bigger channel instead of recommending another video from the small channel I'm watching and subscribe to. Yeah, that's the thing. I still think discoverability is more accessible, like compared to Rumble for YouTube. But yeah, and this is the big thing that I just get frustrated with any of these media platforms that I'm on. I'm on the big five: YouTube, Rumble, X, Kick, and Twitch, which you can like and subscribe, by the way, and help push the channel, turn on notifications, check out, the donation, tip, YouTube, membership tiers, subscription tiers, Rumble, all that stuff. But this is the thing, again, that I'm annoyed about with all these platforms, especially platforms like Rumble, who say that they're like, you can grow organically and stuff like that. It's like I'm seeing the people that apparently seem to be established or in your good graces are growing more, but I'm still not seeing this true small channel, like putting in the work, doing all the stuff and seeing that truly grow organically. I'm still not seeing that anywhere. So Clownfish TV's analysis connects this suppression to YouTube's broader strategy of favoring mainstream media over independent creators. You have a bunch of people in Hollywood in the mainstream that are mad, and we talked about it for years. They're mad because people are going to YouTube and they want to infiltrate the space, Neon explained. The host identified the core problem. YouTube is attempting to transform from a creator-driven platform into another streaming service dominated by corporate content. Yeah, and that's I don't doubt that, and it's 100% bullshit. YouTube right now is trying to position itself as a streaming service to compete with Netflix and Disney and Hulu, but it's not. It's YouTube, Geeky Sparkles pointed out. This transformation betrays the very creator who built YouTube's success. People didn't want that stuff. They came to YouTube because they wanted to hear independent voices. If they wanted that stuff, they'd watch it where it was at, wouldn't they? But they didn't because they don't want it, Neon said. The solution, according to Clownfish TV, requires active effort from viewers to circumvent YouTube's manipulation. You cannot depend on YouTube at this point, too. And that's just not for us, but for any creator that you follow, they warned. For viewers who value independent content, Clownfish's TV's message is clear. YouTube won't deliver the content you want to see. You'll have to actively seek it out yourself. And I agree. And that's why this whole push to multi-stream to other places is getting really pushed, which is absolutely hilarious because let's be real. Some of the people that are pushing this back in the day said you're going to not grow anywhere if you did multi-stream. So it's a complete 180. It's absolutely insane. But there were some, like Drunk 3PO has pointed out the fact of he highly encourages, trying to throw your net out like to wherever you can and see what you can wrangle in. So we have that. So I didn't know if they were actually going to get into the detail, like the data and stuff like that. But apparently it's a lot of people are talking about it and it's being confirmed. And the next thing that we have lined up here comes from Tech for Gamers. And this is a big thing that people are talking about. And it's also showcasing why I feel that the Nintendo Switch 2 was one big experiment. Is this. So it's getting controversy, the Nintendo Switch 2, because the display is apparently 50% slower than the predecessor. Amazing. Funny on how it's like a lot of people will say the Wii U is literally just a glorified, it's a glorified Wii, and that's it. The Wii U should have just been what the Wii should have been a long time ago. But now it's like this is like going in the opposite direction. I'm seeing with the Switch 2. Like, for a system that just now decided to step up to like the technology of where all the other consoles have been for a while, apparently they're not doing a 100% solid job on stuff. And I truly think that Nintendo Switch 2 was indeed an experiment to see what Nintendo wanted to see what they could get away with and how many people would buy it. And yeah, they implemented some new stuff like the Joy-Cons being a mouse and stuff like that. But according to this, it looks like they're cutting corners and other stuff. And would people care about it? Well, apparently people are caring about it. So it attracted a lot of hype when it wasn't officially announced. The rumors hyped the fandom a lot. But when the actual product was launched, there wasn't much buzz around it. So despite that, it managed to sell pretty well in the initial week, mainly because of how big of a cult the original Switch managed to make. I wouldn't say just the Switch, I would say Nintendo in general. Just a little while after launch, the console managed to attract even more controversy. It has been revealed that the latest Switch 2 display is 50% slower than its predecessor. So the next generation of a console should always be superior to the previous one in all aspects, no matter what the case is. However, Nintendo failed to do so in its recent release, which is pretty disappointing. Not only that, Nintendo thinks that they have the right to fucking brick your console if they think you're pirating shit. I still can't get over that. That's still like the number one biggest thing that I'm not going to be getting a Switch 2 anytime soon. And that I hope people have already cracked it, and I hope someone really cracks it and releases an emulator, and that just despite Nintendo, because I think they are getting a little too big for their britches. But unfortunately, they have a fan base that will follow them to the end. Now, I wouldn't say I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but I do like a lot of their stuff they do, and they do make Nintendo games, which is what people want and people ask. I understand that. And yes, the other game companies should be doing that, but apparently they're not. But that doesn't mean you can get away with stuff like this. So we got a video right here talking about a bad screen. You may have already seen people literally bashing the display of the Switch 2 and ranting about how bad it is. Even Digital Foundry was disappointed as the console's display is subpar and scrolling would cause some blurry. So now the latest analyst from Monitor Unboxed reveals something even more disappointing. For those not in the know, there is no HDR in the console, and there were some refresh rate issues. But what Monitor Unboxed has revealed is perhaps the most disappointing of all. The YouTuber has revealed the screen's response time and has revealed the YouTuber has revealed this screen's response time. I feel like there should be a comma there, but I always get confused when you just use and then comma and has revealed that it is actually 50% slower than the original Nintendo Switch. According to Monitor Unboxing's analysis, the average response time of the handheld is 33 milliseconds, while the original Switch response time is 21 milliseconds. So the YouTuber, and that's, it's like a roughly a 10 difference, 12. The YouTuber revealed that one of the main reasons behind this extremely disappointing result is a lack of overdrive technology, which, by the way, is mandatory in this generation on almost every single display. The blurring while simply scrolling may also be due to this response time. Should be noted that the Switch 2 comes with a larger display, higher brightness and resolution than the original handheld, which impact the battery health. Therefore, it is likely that the overdrive technology is missing from the latest console, as it also ultimately affects battery life. And then what do you think about the latest Nintendo console display being 50% slower than its predecessors? But there you go. And if you guys want to watch the video, you can. Apparently, it's 19 minutes and 22 seconds. I don't know. I mean, this easily should have been thought about and fixed. Now, I've used my Nintendo Switch handheld sometimes, but for the most part, I use it as a console, my original Nintendo Switch, by the way. So I keep it plugged in all the time. So battery life to me doesn't really bother me because I always leave it plugged in or I just plug it in when I can. But yeah, this idea that it's lacking in overdrive technology, which is literally what every single display is using, how do you just ignore that? And how do you figure out where you can compromise something to where, yeah, the battery life may not be the best, but it's to be expected, because it's literally a handheld. But absolutely ridiculous. Again, I don't like how Nintendo thinks they can brick your console if they think you're pirating stuff. And now you're getting subpar, display, slower display. All this stuff. It's like, what corners did you guys cut? And again, I truly think the Switch 2 was an experiment to see, would people buy stuff and not look into it? Just don't think, just consume. I truly think it was. And a lot of people showed that, yeah, they were willing, down to the technology and definitely with the pricing. Because we're seeing companies now slapping on $80 on games to where you got to ask yourself, really? You really think your generic, basic, standard game is worth $80? Nope. Nope. Do not think so at all. So those were kind of the big articles I had here. I had some other ones, which I don't know how long it would take. But I guess Tech for Gamers also showcased that Bloodborne is reportedly getting a live action adaptation before remaster. So apparently that's happening. It's arguably one of the most well-known Soul games. I have Bloodborne, and I tried replaying again, and boy, does that game really piss me off. It really pisses me off. Not because it's the highest selling one, but because of how it's becoming a running meme in the game industry by fans who have been asking for a remaster. Almost every first-party release for the PlayStation 4 generation has been ported to PC, except Bloodborne. For nearly a decade, fans have consistently urged Sony to do more with the IP, but according to a new report, the company is looking to expand into the live-action medium instead. It's a good thing that Sony has found success in the live-action video game adaptation, but unfortunately, the game giant is more focused on Hollywood than it is on video games. So this comes from Daniel RPK, scoop locked behind a paywall, who's a famous Hollywood insider known for his accurate reports on movies and TV shows. And then Daniel has claimed that Sony is currently trying to secure a director for the project. The idea of the Bloodborne movie is thrilling. That actually would be kind of cool, especially given the rich lore of the Soul games. However, Sony's neglect of the IP in the gaming world for almost a decade is disappointing to fans, and that Sony reluctantly to move forward with the Bloodborne IP without Miyazaki's involvement is a case for concern. So while Miyazaki's love for Bloodborne is undeniable, his busy schedule means we may not get to see a new Bloodborne game before the years to come. Yeah, and they're also working on an Elden Ring live action. So now apparently we're getting a Bloodborne that could be in 2028. There you go. I did also see this again at Fandom Pulse. X-Men 97 showrunner accuses Marvel Studios of having Plantation Country Club vibes and says a certain demographic of creator gets to fall upwards. So we all know he's been having beef. He accused Marvel Studios of having... Now he's apparently accusing them of having Plantation Country vibes and declared that only a certain demographic is available to fail upwards in Hollywood while reacting to a report that Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier's will direct an X-Men movie. Now, he did that shitty X-Men 97 show, which some people fell for it. I didn't fall for it. I got what I needed to in the very first episode, and I was like, nope, I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going, and I don't care how many throwbacks to the comics he throws in there. We all know what's happening. Like... Mr. Matthews, is he playing the race card? Race card, probably gay card, like all the cards. So following a report from Variety that Schreier will direct an X-Men film, DeMeo made an accusation writing on X in a now deleted post. Always a deleted post. Oh, look, only at Marvel Studios with its Plantation Country Club vibes can you direct a decent film that doesn't break even at the box office and land this gig. Oh, to fit a certain demographic in Hollywood and just fail upwards, he added. Zero interest in seeing what him and another mediocre fail upwards came up with this. At least we know we're getting Iger's version of X-Men that has zero authentic exploration of the core themes of X-Men. Like, this is fucking pathetic choice. See, this is where this is where I don't believe this. Like with Bo, like I don't believe this fucker at all. He is so ass mad about anything that he was let go from the project. Then now I'm actually going to side with fucking Marvel on this, and I think it was good that he was let go, because I'm tired of seeing this. It's always the same damn thing. Didn't he get kicked off the show because he SA'd someone or something? I don't think it has anything to do with his demographics. Yeah, he's denying that. I think that's what the lawsuit is about and stuff. I don't know. We read about it in the past, and I can't recall the information. But the fact that he keeps acting like this, especially when it's anything X-Men related, kind of makes me think that it's probably true. And that at the end, he's a scumbag. And that's kind of why, like, some of the people that were like, no, he actually did pretty good with X-Men 97. I'm like, no, dude, he's a snake. And he's complaining about the other snakes in the company. Chaos Smashes. What up, dude? Says he did get handsy with someone, I think. I think that's where he's going to, like, that's the whole lawsuit and stuff. But, dude, I'm getting tired of this guy. In another post, he accused Marvel of firing a writer on Blade because one of the male leads did not like her script. Well, they got straight white men steering it so they can avoid what happened on Blade when a lead on the project threw a script back at a black female writer across the room and shouted, "This is why I don't like working with women." Okay, that is like hearsay, number one. And number two, if the script sucked, the script sucked. The fact that you have to add where... And again, when you ask these people, okay, name the people who said this, tell us. They don't. Because it's made up. This is why when I hear people like this do this sort of stuff, I don't believe them. Because if you were truly, because these people put on that they are so upset about the injustice and stuff. They do cancel culture. They do all this stupid crap to show the world what it really is and stuff like that. And then you have a prime opportunity to like name the people who are supposedly saying this stuff, and then they don't, do it. Then they don't do it. So dumb. He continued, what did Marvel Studios do? Fired her to appease this male lead on the project. Not only that, but they routinely badmouthed her openly on the set until a black assistant came to me and told me about the above because they were so morally conflicted over it. So you literally got this second-handed. So what you're saying is third-handed. Somebody told you that somebody told them that they said this to them. Mr. Matthews says, I hope they show us the receipts. I don't think they exist. That's what I say. These people, look at like the way he is responding and the way he is acting on X is so extreme. You would think that he would just show all the receipts right now. I thought you have this fuck Marvel attitude. Just show everything. Who cares about the legal consequences? I thought the whole point of this is to showcase on how bad Marvel is. And that despite whatever legal hardships you might come into, you're telling the truth. This is what I love. These people act so extreme. And yet it's like, well, you know, they act so extreme. And when they have a prime opportunity to actually make a difference or like do something that could be legitimately like revealing, they don't do it. That's why they're all talk and no show. And I also just think it's funny too, because again, they act so extreme, and it's like, dude, I can think of a million times like more extreme than you. You guys think you're so badass because you're acting all like this. I could think of way more worse stuff. I don't do it because I'm, try to be as stable as possible because I'm not retarded. Although I do have ADHD, so that could make me, well, anyway. Oh, here you go. What did Marvel Studio leadership do when I reported all of this to Marvel? Booted me off Blade and then made my life hell on X-Men 97 because I had dared to speak up to their vaunted parliament. And yeah, I have the receipts and witness for all of this, he concluded with a smiley face. Fucking show them. Fuck them. Fuck them and show them. See, again, this is why I don't believe all of this stuff. And I really hope Marvel wins in this. As corrupt as they are, because we have seen people who have shown the receipts and they don't care what happens in the process, whether it's defamation, whether they get pulled into a lawsuit. We have seen people exactly like him say, fuck it, here's everything. Boom, 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 boom. And he's not doing it. He should have done this before the lawsuit happened, but he didn't. Chaos, plus you're a redhead. This is true. I'm the super elite redhead host. And that's why, and that's all the more reason why you need to like and subscribe to this channel. We're live on the Big Five: YouTube, Rumble, X, Kick, and Twitch. And ring that bell to get notified, even though YouTube probably won't let you know when I upload new content. All the more reason why you should check out my other social medias that I just listed and some other stuff in the description below. Some of them I don't frequent as much. Pretty much Instagram's like the only one that I kind of frequent, but that's just, there's some good memes over on Instagram too. But yeah, that's how you support the show. You can also check out donation, subscription tiers, and all that fun stuff. Rumble rants and YouTube super chats and all that stuff. So a day later, in DeMaio apologized to Schreier. In retrospect, I came down a little hard on Jack Schreier, so I do want to apologize. And then right here, he comes in hot, and then he needs, to apologize. However, he doubled down on his accusation against Marvel Studios. However, I do stand by the fact that Marvel largely seems to only let POC directors direct POC movies, and X-Men is way overdue to have more diverse character leaderships, both in film and the comics. Yeah, and never mind. This is just a fact. I do not find it pathetic And I do find it pathetic that Marvel is not trying to be bolder and more ambitious with one of the most important properties. Except it was never about that. These people want to lie to you and say X-Men has always been, quote, diverse and stuff like that, or you know, all that stuff. And people have pointed out, like, no, this is what X-Men was about, like, said by Stan Lee and all the people. And these people just don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. Yes, it talks about inclusivity and all that shit, but not about the... I've said this before. Whatever. And there's better people who can explain it than me. A lot of my POV is also informed by having worked in several projects with Marvel and witnessed their performance for white or white-passing creatives. He continued, this has been part of the company culture for decades and well documented with Ike Perlmutter's departure, but he was just part of a far larger cancer in the studio. So yes, I lose my temper at times because of what I experienced and survived. Oh, fuck off. Experienced and survived. Eat a bag of dicks, which I think you're gay, so I think you would. Piss off. Because I continue to defend myself against an insane smear campaign that's been launched with zero evidence, I'm human. You keep saying you have evidence, but you don't share it. Again, I don't know if, like, I think he's still under a lawsuit. I'm human. I make mistakes, and I'll own them, but there is... No, you won't. You won't own your mistakes. But there's a larger experience I'm speaking for here. It's always... I'm doing this for the little people. Anyway, back to Friday business, he concluded. He is no stranger to making accusations against Marvel Studio. Back in February, he accused the studio of abusing artists and crew in the pursuit of mediocre results. In the post reacting to Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld calling for Feig to be removed from Marvel Studios, he wrote that. We've read about this before. He's also previously accused Marvel engaging in a spearmint campaign against him. These allegations are egregious and misconduct are false. The rumors spread around me online are lies and they are offensive, but more concerning is that they're a smear campaign designed to discredit my credibility, to cover up egregious prejudicial misconduct, stretching from select crew members of X-Men 97 all the way up to the top. Yeah, that's the Marvel Studio statement. Trying to see if this article like covers homosexuality is a hot button issue alongside abortion in Gaza, not wanting to alienate X-Men fan with the rope. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whatever. He's a freak. Don't trust him. Well, there's some other extra stuff that I had for you. Went a little bit over than what I normally do, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and wind down here with games that were released today, and we'll check out the games that are released tomorrow over the many years. So, what do we got? Got Lunar, the Silver Star. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Very nice. Ooh, Beautiful Joe. Good game. Naruto Ultimate Ninja. I actually still have a copy of that game. Bleach the Third Phantom. Anybody a Bleach fan? I feel like I've heard of Overlord. I think that one's supposed to be like really raunchy. Mr. Matthews says, Beautiful Joe. Yes. Yes, indeed. Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Crew 2, Persona 5, The Phantom X. So not too bad of a game list. Chaos Mesh says, Bleach fan here. Yes, there you go. There you go. Those were some games that were released today. Let's check out tomorrow. Tomorrow will just be gaming. And then we won't be having a show for the next week or so because I'll be visiting family back up in Illinois. But we should still be able to do game streaming. I just won't have a computer. Mic might be a little different. And won't be able to play some games that aren't on the backlog list. But should still be doing there. All right. June 27th. Shovel Knight. Hell yeah. Oh, wait, was Shovel Knight on one of them? Am I dumb? Did I miss Shovel Knight? Shovel Knight was supposed to be pretty good. Or was that? Oh, yeah, right here. There you go, Shovel Knight. Good list. So this one, we got Shockwave. Kind of glad Crystal Chronicles was released, but it sucks to play co-op. Ah, that sucks. Mischief Makers, Rabbit. I don't really know a whole lot of these. War Jets, Anachronix. What's that? That is it's a Japanese style role playing game. Okay. Oh gosh, Fantastic Four, 2005. Don't know how good those games were. Released on a lot. Game Boy Advance, GameCube, PC, PlayStation 2, Xbox. Oh, here you go. Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, if you like that. DS, Game Boy Advance, PSP. Sin and Punishment Star Successor. See, I still don't know why these, like, they put these games in bold, like Game Facts. Not sure. Action shooter. Oh, Sin and Punishment Star Successor is a rail shooter? Ooh, I like me a rail shooter game. Gundam Breaker. Tokuden. Sniper Elite 3. Lego Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Yeah. Not a good list on the 27th. You see Samurai Showdown, Samurai Spear. Yeah, we listed that. We said that on Tuesday, and then it was also listed on Wednesday. So they're kind of padding it a little bit by games that were released this year, which would make sense. I'll have to check out the Sin and Punishment. I do like me a rail shooter, but it depends on what kind, though. Shinsetsu, Samurai Spirits, Bushido Retsuden. But there you guys go. Yeah, Sin and Punishment plays a little like Star Fox. Ah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. Feel like another sneeze is coming on. But I suppressed it. All right, folks. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the Power Up podcast for this time around. Like I said, we won't be online or not online. We won't be doing at least a show until I'm back from a vacation, pretty much, seeing the family, 4th of July and all that stuff. But again, should be live, should be game streaming. Well, we beat Ghost of Sparta yesterday, so we'll have to figure out a game to continue for tomorrow. Technically, I could now multi-stream X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I've been playing over on Rumble for the premium criteria over there, but we've completed that. So we could now multi-stream all that. Mr. Matthews said you were interested in seeing God of War Betrayal. I did manage to get that and get that working. The controls, oh boy, that might be a little difficult, and I don't know if we could. I'd have to see if we could beat all that in one sitting. But we do have that, so maybe I'll look into something else. But obviously, I don't want to start like a brand new game of the backlog list before I'm about to go back up, unless I can like emulate it or something like that. But let's do some. Let's see if we can do any redirects. Of course, Vara is online. Ooh, Drunk 3PO's online. Jay's online. We will raid him over on YouTube. And then my boy Phoenix over on Rumble is still alive. So we were watching him a little bit. We will bring it back over to him. There we go. All right. Well, you guys go say hi to all the folks we're raiding. Thanks for the support. Catch you guys tomorrow. Should be online sometime 9 p.m. Central Time. Till then, take care and God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.